We all use YouTube, even if we don't upload our own videos. It's the most dominant video sharing website online right now. It remains popular, even though the website has gone through some drastic changes since it was bought out by Google. The format has been repeatedly redesigned, advertisements are now everywhere, and most controversial of all, users are now forced to sign in with the Google Plus account in decision that they exposed everyone's true identity for the entire world to see online. Although most of the users seem to hate the new changes, when they first happen, they will eventually stomach them due to the lack of satisfying alternatives. So we keep watching YouTube videos in the despite of all the times we grumble under our breath. But what if you were told that most users on the site were not real? That a big chunk of what you see going on YouTube is not enthusiastic at all, and that some of the most popular users don't even exist? This may sound strange at first, but keep listening. Since Google bought the website, they have now proven time and time again that they don't care for their users. They harassed YouTube users until they agreed to sign up for Google Plus, or eventually just forced them to do it against their own will. They also cater to the needs of big industries, which resulted in them overly commercializing the website. Since Google came along, users have had to deal with the constant stint of advertisements on their websites and have their videos censored over ridiculous copyright rules, such as having a pop song playing in the background of their videos, or making a short fan film. What most people don't realize is that how far Google is willing to go to keep some level of control over the users, to help influence and manipulate the real users. Google secretly created fake users and has them pretending to be real. Some of the people on the site are real, or at least used to be. This includes people who signed up for before Google bought out, and the users whose channels stand a little chance of being noticed, or at least becoming a mainstream hit on the site. But for those who are popular on the site are already fake users, even people who claim to be the honest bloggers at home. These also include people that may have their own website or podcasts outside of YouTube. Many of them are actors hired by Google, following a script written for them. Their interaction with each other is all planned and rehearsed, as if they have their own popular website or podcast. It's very highly likely that that's the secret of them being paid for Google. Some pre-Google buyout bloggers and undiscovered users who show potential of becoming popular are offered a chance to join Google. If they do so, they must follow a script written for them and never upload a video without getting permission first. In exchange, Google will promote them all over online and make their videos easy to find. If they turn down the offer, Google will make sure their videos will never be seen again. All their videos will be removed under false claims, and eventually the user will be banned from YouTube. Believe it or not, that's not even the strangest part. Here is where things started to get weird. Some of the fake users you're seeing are actually CG characters. They are computer-generated people by Google, making and using technology that they have kept for themselves. Google has access to some of the most popular advanced technology in the world and has connection to a major special effect industries. They are looking for bloggers who are just simply to follow orders and are appealing to social media. This can be hard too, seeing how some people may betray them and leak information, so they started literally creating their own people who will only do what they want and that they can never fear of being betrayed by. Their voices are actually from a computer. The room they're sitting in is just a digital background, and the person just perfected CG avatar. It's confirmed that the marketing industries have used computers to create unrealistic people before. Most of the models you see in magazines have been digitally altered and extravagated to the point where they couldn't possibly exist in the real world. Digital voices are known to the public as well. For an example, in Japan, there have been virtual pop stars whose voices are sung by a computer. The bloggers who are talking to you through a video are simply a more advanced version of this technology. These bloggers are all products created by Google, created to be attractive, funny, and appealing to the average user. The purpose is to attract users to the site, sell them things of sway public opinion. Both actors and visual users are meant to keep people online distracted in the dark without even realizing it. The weirdness doesn't end here. A big chunk of people in the comment sections are also fake. This is not to say that there is no real internet trolls, but there are less of them than you think. Most of you know that those spam bots that appear in the comment sections offering a link to a suspicious website that will most likely give you a virus. It's no secret that those people are just bots programmed to leave random links. But the secret is that Google has access to all technology. A while ago, Google bought out Boston Dynamics, a robotics company that was originally working with the US Defense Department. In reality, the two have been working closely together long before the buyout, and many backroom deals have been made between the two. What was never revealed to the public was that the Boston Dynamics was successful in creating AI software that could perfectly mimic the real human mind. This AI program can exist on the internet, and as its own online entity, they can read and understand comments and articles, as well as watch videos. They can also talk to online users as if they were real commentators. They can even look up information faster than a real user and download it all into their memories. This may make them think that they're skilled debates at first, but in the process of the information so quickly that they can malfunction, sometimes having a hard time grasping what they just had proceeded. Google uploaded the AI software into both YouTube and their own search engine, which is part of the reason why they have made the requirement to use Google Plus to log into YouTube. The software is programmed to create the free new AI industries for every real YouTube user who creates their account. This way, the AI users will always outnumber the real users. The AI were all programmed to share whatever opinion, beliefs, and even personal taste in pop culture that Google wants them to. This way, Google can sway the real users into accepting whatever they favor. Since there are more AI users than real users, they can also create a sense of online conformity and make real people more hesitant to speak their opinions. Anyone who holds this as a view of opposition to Google's agenda will be directly targeted by the AI commentators, which will begin harassing the real users with tactics such as cyberbullying, spamming, and even some cases even hacking to their computer to upload a virus. This also encourages real users to join within the AI's target, the unfortunate user who had spoken out. At the same time, the AIs are programmed to like and praise the fake video users leaving positive comments and liking the video, which in return will encourage real people to do the same. All of this is meant to help control the real users who are unaware of how they are being manipulated. This way, Google can guide people into buying certain projects. For example, If a movie comes out made by a studio that asks Google for help with advertising, then Google's fake YouTube users will react positively to the movie. The actors and CG bloggers will promote the film on their channel or on their website and podcast if they had one. Why did the AI commenters will take the videos for the fake bloggers praising the movie? The AI users will leave comments acting as if they just seen the same movie, claiming that they had loved it. They also like to hit the like button to trailers or anything else that has to do with the movie, such as a parody video or a positive review. All this will lead to the real users into wanting to see the movie for themselves. If a real YouTuber user leaves a comment or a video presenting the movie in a favorable light, then the AI users will hit the like button so that more people will see the video or comment. If a real user doesn't like the movie and expresses it through a comment or a video on YouTube, then the AI users will thumb it down in as less of a chances of being seen. Google does not plan to just use this tactic for marketing. They're also using this to help shape up our political, religious, and philosophical worldviews as well. For example, if there's a candidate who is willing to work with Google, when they have their fake users promote for her, the actors and CG bloggers will praise him and will promote their candidate on their channel. At the same time, the AI users will rally around the candidate, hitting the like button onto anything that portrays him or her in a positive way. They will also show the intense hostility against anyone real who disagrees with them. But like any comment that they are programmed to agree with, from that point on, the real users must be encouraged to follow the candidate and agrees to the things that they normally wouldn't. This just doesn't concern Google's attempt to influence the public opinion, but it's also a matter of security and privacy. Say what you want about Edward Snowden or WikiLeaks, but they have yet confirmed the past few years Google has been working with the NSA. The AI users just didn't like YouTube users, but that they can also keep track of the real ones. Each time you unknowingly talk with an AI in the comments section, it shares what you had typed in and on how you acted all the other users. All this information is also sent and stored into the files used by the NSA to keep track of a good record of you. If you say anything that the NSA would deem you as possible threat, then the AI will begin to monitor you. They will start replying to your comments and videos, pretending to be other users trying to engage you. In reality, they are testing you, trying to see if you can get anything else from you. If you think you can avoid them by simply not using YouTube, guess again. They can have the site and track you down elsewhere online. If you start talking to an online message boards, they will follow you there and log in within their accounts. If you use Gmail, then they could just simply read your mail. They can even get into your phone and start texting you, pretending to be someone you know. Now, to be fair, they have caught some real terrorists and predators using this technology. But in the NSA, it is not fully looking out for the public interest either. With this tactic, they can also oppress free speech and online movements that are critical for both the government and Google. Google and NSA can also respond by an outcry against them by switching their fake users on to propose anyone who is in opposition to them. If someone tries to start motivation to get the public aware of such as online privacy issues and corruption with the NSA can just ask Google to have all the fake users portray the real ones who protest the uneducated conspiracy theories. Now this instantly will create the illusion that real people are fanatical minority. They will also continue to record information on you, even if you're not a real threat. Some people have gone missing or have found themselves wrongfully targeted by law enforcement after saying the wrong thing online. The AI users are watching you, and you might confuse troll comments or sarcasm as a real threat. In other cases, they might target you just for holding views that people in power want to oppress. Also, don't be shocked if Google will start using scapegoats and have their fake users blamed for everything on a selected group of people to distract you from your own corruption. This all leads to one final question. Will Google try and take down this message? Anyone who shares this message may become a target of the fake users, but it doesn't matter. Google has already determined that you won't do anything about it. They have seen the real users do little whenever they are mistreated by Google in the past. They also made notes on how real users hated having their identity exposed, but eventually accepted it. They remember that their enforced censorship rules on you and allowed the NSA to read your mail, and that no one did anything about it. You just keep using their service, so they have rationalized themselves. Even if their fake users are fully exposed to the public, the reaction will be the same. People will be angry at first, maybe even threaten to use a different search engine and video site. But they will eventually accept everything fake about it and just continue to use it in spite of the risk. And that, my little pretties, was What They Aren't Not Telling You About YouTube, a creepypasta written by Zarathustra86. My final thoughts on the story? This is actually a pretty good creepypasta for what it is. This really does explain a lot and about the surprising amount of sense that is on the internet and all that. I mean, this is actually a pretty good creepypasta in a matter of sense. Like, I've actually first heard of this story from Creepypasta, and that was about 5 years ago. And I honestly have to say, this story was honestly pretty good. Now, there is a few pictures that you're probably seeing, you probably saw, a few of them, like, on here. So, there's that. You've seen maybe a few pictures of it, from the story itself. This theory was actually pretty interesting for what this one really is. Now, I actually have to sit here and say that this is like an older story, but I would have to say that it is so interesting. This is probably the worst, not worst, but the weirdest conspiracy theory I've ever seen on this. Although I would have to say there is a bit of cliches, such as the wall of text, no attempt to suspend disbelief, and I mean, there's like a lot of pretty messed up stuff. Well, it's not too bad, but I mean, it's a bit cliched wall of text of no attempt to suspend belief, the overdone political agenda and stuff, and setting the decision to insert some random robotics company. I don't really think that would be the case, but yet again, who really is to say? That's just what I have to say, but now I'm just gonna definitely be say that this story honestly is pretty interesting. Although this is obviously a fake story, so yeah. I do remember Miss Shadow Lovely narrated it, but it's been like a long time since I last sat there and, took a read it. So I definitely have to say still a good story. It's actually one of the good creepypastas I have to see. But yet I'm gonna say this right now. This story honestly was not bad. I actually thought it was a pretty good creepypasta. I actually still thought this one was a pretty good one. I mean, with that, the grammar being good, the sentence structuring, the concept, I really do enjoy the plot of how well made this story is. So I really have to say, to the author of the story, great job with this story. This story is honestly really good and well made. So you actually did a pretty good job to the author of the story. So, with that being the case, that being said, I'm gonna sit here and definitely have to say, if I have to say one negative, I would have to say is that it's kind of it's confusing to an extent. And what I mean by that is that there were certain things in the story that I read that were honestly confusing, and I honestly didn't think that some of the stuff that was said here didn't exactly make a whole lot of sense. But that's just what I think personally. But like I said, that's just what I think. You guys might have your own opinions, but yet again, I mean, everyone has their own opinions when it comes to, this type of thing. I would have to say though, not a bad story. It's pretty good for what it is, and I honestly really recommend you guys check out this story if you haven't. It's a good story. It's pretty interesting. It's definitely well made, and I definitely recommend you guys check this one out. Now, it's a pretty good Fury. I really have to say it's a good story, and I honestly really find this one to be, pretty pretty awesome in my opinion. So, yeah, I would have to say it's pretty good. But like I said before, it's just my opinion on the story. But like I'm gonna just say, that's just my opinion. And if you happen to disagree with me, that is completely fine too. We are all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas. This is just simply my own personal thoughts. Now, my final rating of this story is a 10 out of 10. Pretty good. I do think it's a really good, well made creepypasta. There's definitely a lot of time and effort into it, and I honestly thought it was really amazing. And I mean, yeah, it is confusing, but I still find this story to be, rather well done in a sense. So, anyways, with that being said, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what have you have done in person to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're new to this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.